meeting Monday, February 1st, 2021, 7 o'clock. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes for the previous meeting? Any corrections or additions to that?
Move to approve.
Okay.
I say.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Approve the agenda. We got more on there, more engineers on there. Phil's landfill. Any other corrections to that or additions? John, well, motion to approve that.
I move.
Larry, second.
I'll second.
Jeff, aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright, we'll just recognize more then.
Okay, like an approach, easier for me to go through.
Yeah.
So we've been busy last month, got your plans and specs approved. So this is a spec book, project manual is what we call it. It's got all your bid documents in here, technical specifications. It's got the contract between the city and the contractor that'll have to get filled out. Here's what the bid schedule looks like. So for the project, we have, this is our project map. We've updated it since the last time we were here based on comments from the city. There's some streets that you guys wanted to add. The way we have it set up is all the dark gray. That is the base bid of the project. That's gonna be done with the base bid. And the base bid is the cement stabilized base version. Alternate one is those same streets with a gravel instead of a cement stabilized base. So we'll bid it, we'll let the contractors tell us what's the cheapest option. And then the city council will make the decision. You can still pick either one, if you want to do the cement stabilized base or the gravel. See where the bids come in, if they're close, you know, probably decide, you can make a decision. If it's way under on one, that will probably have a severe decision. The alternates, the next alternate is chip sealing everything. Everything not included in the street project. And we've got another alternate of patches throughout town. The city can pick where those patches would be in the spring. So that's the project. Overall map, these are the plan sets. So as you page through, these are project notes, telling the contractor what materials he has to use, can use, can't use, you know, seating specs, different project notes where they can store material, equipment, testing requirements, going through the kind of overall map of the city, an overall map showing different benchmarks in town where soil borings were done, where street cores were done. These are okay. This is milestone 1. What we have. This is Elm Street from the highway in front of the school. We have August 6th for milestone completion date for that. The rest of the paving work needs to be done by September 19th. September 19th. And then the chip sealing would be done in 2022. So get the Elm Street done in front of the school so it wouldn't affect school. Next sheets are our removal sheets. What's going to get pulled out. Past the removal sheets are the actual paving sheets showing the ADA ramps, curb and gutter that's going to get removed, sidewalk that gets removed and replaced, showing where the valley gutters are at. After the paving sheets, we get into typical sections, typical details, shows the contractor what they have to build the base out of, what thicknesses the asphalt needs to be. Patching, what they have to do for patches. The manholes, so when they come up to a manhole, they'll pull the cover of the manhole off to do their paving work. What they'll probably do is they'll probably put a steel plate on, pave over everything, and then come back and put the manhole casting on. That's typically the most efficient way to do it. And then they get the manhole, the perfect elevation. Same with the gate valve covers. They pull those off, pave over them, and come back.
They don't have to pull the manhole ring out?
They'll pull the rings too, yep, and then put that back. And some contractors will work around them. A lot of them will just pull the casting, the rings, put a steel plate on, pave over the top, and then come back and put the castings on. So if your manholes disappear, don't worry, they will come back. some inlet bags, we have to do into inlets, some DOT, sediment control wattles, so. It's our typical, plan set for a street project. I think we've gone over it a couple times, I think you guys are aware of what's going on. We are done, we're ready to bid, so for schedule wise, we hit the date we were looking for. Our next steps would be, if we're to bid this the end of February, I'd ask you guys to approve plans and specifications. And then there's also, you direct the auditor to advertise for bids. That's the process you have to go through with special assessments. And Sherry will help you with the ad for bid.
Okay.
But those are the two resolutions. What our schedule is right now is we could bid this for the publishing dates. We could get it in the paper. We could bid it February 25th. We'd have a few days to look at the bids. If you get favorable bids and you're ready to move forward, you could award the project on your next March council meeting. So it's a perfect time to bid. We just bid a project in Ashley. We had 8 general contractors bid it. So this will be a paving contractor, but I'd assume we'd get 5 bids. I mean, that's about how many paving contractors are in the region. So numbers are looking good right now. So. So we're ready, if you guys are ready, but
How did Ashley's come in?
about 100,000 under the estimate, so it was good bids. Like they, typically what was it, there's one about 100,000 under, one right on the estimates, and then there were 6 from 50,000 over, and there's always a couple guys that'll throw in, a real high bid. There was one that was probably 400,000 or 500,000 over the estimate, but it was all in line with bid prices that we're anticipating, so I'm hoping we get the same for here. So if you guys have questions on the plans, I'd be happy to go through them more, or if you're ready to advertise. Okay. So I would request that you guys would make a motion to approve plans and specs for Street Replacement District 2020-1.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next motion would be to authorize the city auditor to advertise for bids for Street Replacement District 2020-1.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, your bid opening will be here in person. It'll be at City Hall at 10 a.m. on the 25th of February. We'll come for that. Your attorney, if they want to be here, they can be. Some cities will have them, some won't. So we'll handle the bid opening. We'll need someone to help us get in the room. If you guys want to be here, you can. You don't have to be. City auditor probably should be, just to get us in here.
If there's a few of us here, do we need to post all that and make it official, or how does that work?
I don't know what the rules are for public meeting like that. It's, I guess I don't know what the rules are for that.
Okay, we should find out. on
Ask
that.
your attorney on that probably. I'd put a flyer on the door. I mean, it's open to the public, so you'll have 5-6 contractors at the drop.
Just do it, I guess.
So we don't have to award it
That
that.
we were-
Nope.
25th for everybody to be here?
February 25th, yep, at 10 a.m.
So,
I mean, if you guys can't make it, it's fine, but we'll just do that so we're covered. We don't have to run into anything down the road.
so how it'll work is we'll open the bids. There's a couple documents they have to have in there. They have to have their copy of their contractor's license. They have to have a bid bond in there, and then they have their bid sheet that's signed. So we'll take those sheets. Those are unofficial bids when they first open them. We'll go through and make sure their math is correct. So like, if they did multiplication wrong, we'll correct that. It's the unit price that we can't change, but if they did their math wrong, we'll correct that. And what we'll do is we'll put together a bid tabulation results. We'll have at your city council meeting. So we'll have the list of all the bids we get, the totals, and then we'll have an engineer's recommendation to award or not to award. If we only get one bid and it's really high, we'll probably bring it back and we'll recommend not awarding it, and then what we do is we rebid it and we try to drum up some more interest somehow, or or wait or whatever. If we get good bids, we'll come back with the bid tabs and we'll have a recommendation to award. And at that point, if the city's ready to proceed, you pick which alternatives that you want. And then you would sign what's called a notice of award, saying the city is gonna move forward, award the project to that contractor. And then we'll put the contract together, let your attorney review it, and then you'd sign the contract documents and be under contract to move forward with the project. So, those are the next steps. So we should have all that ready for your, I think it's March 1st meeting. So, it's a good time to bid it. I mean, now is perfect time. Contractors are looking, so. Your loan, so, we were moving forward with Doherty for the loan. They're actually changed name, they're Coilers International, but that's still all moving forward. Their plan to close the loan would be after we bid it, so you guys can select which alternatives that you want, and then we'll close the loan with Coilers International, is what the name of the company is now.
Okay.
So, there's a couple documents that Mike Manstrom asked that I have the city review and sign. You don't have to sign them today, but I need to get these back to Coilers. One of them is, they're just a notice that they're not a municipal advisor, so they can't advise you on what to spend, and the other one is just, explains what their roles are as an underwriter. So if you guys wanna review those and get those back to me, I'll get them to Manstrom whenever you're
Okay.
ready. And I do have an engineering invoice for final design. It is for $45,000. Again, you can hold this invoice. I know you don't have your funds yet for the project, so, but we have to invoice as we move, but you can approve it when you get your money, it's fine. So, I will leave a couple copies of the street plans and specs. The bid, how the contractors will get these is they go online to our websites. We add in the paper, goes online to our websites, and they'll pull digital documents off. But there's also in the ad for bid that says the city has paper copies of this if somebody would want to come and look at a paper copy. Nobody does, they just download them online, but.
How long does this have to be in the paper?
3 publishings, so.
3, so you should probably help, for the state if they come here, right?
Yep,
I can put one in by tomorrow.
so we've already written it.
Okay.
And we talked to the paper, we said to hold it until the city approves it.
Okay.
But we'll call her tomorrow and say she can release the
Okay.
ad.
Sounds good.
So that's this right here, Sherry, it's in the front of it.
That's why you needed her number there.
They're,
You have these all back here, Lauren? You have these for all of this,
Okay.
correct? These Collier documents?
Yep. Yep.
So if I just sign them and leave them, and if anyone's have a problem, we'll just hold them till everyone's gives me the go-ahead?
Yep.
You guys gonna read them? And that way you have a copy that's signed. And then we'll just send them if everyone's okay with it.
That works for me.
Yeah, he's
It
got
is.
them, a copy there. Okay, we'll plan on that then. Okay?
Okay,
Any questions for him, or concerns, or?
I'll leave all these with Sherry, unless you want them, see if you want to set up here to look at too. So. Okay, any other questions for me? I'd be happy to answer them.
We're good for now. I appreciate you coming down.
Next thing is your special assessment committee. You guys should start working on that.
We're trying to get it together, yeah, and that's, yeah,
Okay.
we're almost there.
Okay. So these will be, if a contractor does stop, I'm sure these will be for them to look at.
Okay.
I highly doubt anyone will actually stop and get the papers, but.
Okay. Well, leave them right here.
Are you guys from KOJ? Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, if you guys wanna stick around or leave?
Yeah, we have to head to Montana, so.
Sounds good, thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
Safe travels.
What was yours?
My name is Eric Creed, and yeah, we're with KLJ, we represent DOT on a grade rate project of 56.
Okay.
And so we're seeking a temporary construction easement from y'all to raise.
Lauren, you're lost, we gotta find you.
Silver alert Thomas Townsend, silver alert Chevy extended cabin D8638 KJN response.gov/alert.
Lauren's lost.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So it's about a 9-foot grade raise, so they're gonna need to raise the approach on the east side. If I could share some of that.
Yeah, if you'd have some, I was trying to explain to these guys, but I wasn't quite sure where.
So
it was
are you
at.
there? Are you Andrew?
Yes.
So you're the one's been talking to my colleague Chris
Yep.
Erickson?
Yep.
All right, so put my glasses on here. So it's a small, it's right here is the easement they're looking for. That little orange cross hatched, somebody else? Orange cross hatched block. That's the actual temporary construction easement that they're raising. They're gonna raise this entire piece, and obviously, this would be too steep, so they need to add some soil in there to raise that, minimize the grade on the approach up here to the highway. Some extras if you don't want those.
I think the only thing that came up that we were concerned about is any future water problems that would push the water towards our tanks and everything out here. Is that
Our pump house and.
Pump house.
all the tank is right
That's
there.
the water, city water tanks.
Generator and.
I don't have that answer. I'm not an engineer, and I didn't realize, I figured Erickson had already covered all this with you.
okay?
Have you run into that problem before?
No, but we
Water
never
being
raised-
pushed,
We
Not
never raised
yet.
it 9 feet either, so I don't know.
right? What other problems do you see with this being raised 9 feet?
That was our only concern that came up, I guess, is make sure that the water won't become an issue for us here.
Just curious of the elevations on like these two sloughs, I mean, are they gonna go here, is this slough gonna go here, or is it gonna go?
I don't know the
right into that-
hydrology on it. I'm
You know,
not
into that tank,
Right.
if that's the case, then we might have a little bit, well, there might not even be anything he
It's not.
can. Yeah.
I thought this was done. I figured he'd already answered all your questions.
Yeah, well, it's,
You don't know how, okay, you're raising the road 9 feet, how much do they allow to the water level? So in other words,
You're gonna put
if they
culverts in
figure
that,
the
aren't you?
water's gonna
Right.
rise.
Well, then
too.
that shouldn't be a problem. man, if
Right.
it goes-
And it's all within the
Right.
existing right of way. It's just
Right.
and I think that's purely just for construction. You know, most of the work's going to be done within the existing right of way. Which is that red box.
Okay.
I mean, it looks to me like we're getting the approach no matter what, it's just gonna be this last little bit here, right, so. I guess we're kinda stuck in, yeah, when you look at it.
Exactly.
I wish they would've raised those buildings about 2 feet.
Who would've seen it back then, I guess, is
No lie.
I can't imagine they would design anything that would actually push water.
That was our concern, also.
Yeah,
exactly.
you know,
I'm sure. Exactly.
So how does it work with signatures and does that happen here at this meeting? On this?
Yeah, that's the way he made
We
it
can
sound.
do it,
All
Because
right.
he was wondering how to put it on there for,
Well, there's a bunch of them. So, you wanna walk through each of these?
yeah, we may as well.
Yep.
Did you guys have any other questions or concerns before we move on? You're good with everything?
That's
Okay.
that's the highway wants to stand there now. So the
I guess if
first
we don't one,
one,
agree with it, we're gonna have a 9-foot drop off to the front of our doorsteps. Proceed.
right? So the first one you're looking at is just memorandum of offer, right? It's just minimum they give is 300. On the second page of this document, which is requires I think your initials and date, it gives the breakdown per acre. So it's 0.07 acres is this temporary easement. So it's $6.16, but like I said, they round up, 300 is the least they pay.
Okay.
So that's an initial and date on that one. And where would copies go? That go to you?
Yep.
Copies for the record?
You'll have you have to do a motion for all this, right, Drew?
For each
So you have to do a
document?
road motion for this, doing this?
He didn't know either, Chris didn't.
I think she's asking a procedural question. Would you need a motion to
Yeah, I know, I was trying to figure out.
to accept the memorandum of offer?
It wouldn't hurt, I
Wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt.
I mean, make a
I'll
motion.
make the motion.
Okay,
Memorandum of offer.
Lauren, a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
So this is the memorandum of agreements. This, you'll notice two boxes in here. First says, state assumes any trees in the right of way, I don't think there are any here. And access is provided throughout the construction process. So that kind of breaks that down. And again, on the last page, you'll have that same $300 breakdown. So right, initials in those two boxes. And second page would be signature over here, signature and date. And then last page is that same breakdown, minimum payment of 300, initial date. I want for the record. Yes, ma'am. All right. This is another procedural basic document that says that the value of the property was calculated by waiver valuation, and that's that box there. Minimum 300 for temporary easement. So signature and date at the bottom. Right. This is, I know it says no compensation, these other documents cover the compensation, and it's just one of these red tape DOT government forms that this provides actual agreement for entry. So signature and date. Record. All right, that's the temporary easement itself. That's the legal description. And the end of the second or last portion of the description, and sign and date here.
When you guys gonna start on that, you know?
Soon,
Oh, okay.
I believe April.
Oh, okay.
So there's a short fuse on this one, I know. Got maps, W9, what the hell was that?
Do what?
W9s?
You can give it to me.
Well, I need to take one signed with me, signed with your, I guess, town's EIN number.
Yeah.
We'll have the business right on every
Pre-ordered
hundred.
on the snowplow this year,
That, I'm
boys,
not-
aren't you?
they must have been, yes. I'm on the right of way side, so I'm not,
It's a good year for not moving
not up to
snow.
speed on the engineering. and making sure
Put the new
it's-
blades on the other day, it'll last for a couple of years.
Yeah, right.
Shades like this.
For maps, just
Yeah, that's awesome.
because. Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
No, thank you.
you can just take that if you want, Ron, we got enough of them here.
Couple inches.
Is that all we need? You guys need from us then for
Yes,
tonight?
sir, that's all.
Okay, have a good night, thanks for coming.
You bet,
Just
thank
keep
you.
moving along.
You wanna list the address and all that?
More
Most
we got.
importantly, yeah, address, Where you want
So we'll go to
chest
city maintenance. I know, Bill, you got some stuff to go over tonight.
Yeah.
in? Down.
Well, we got another water break in town, it's at the SEMA Center.
And
Few wells are coming next week to fix it.
You got the front and the back.
It's
today's date?
it's in the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So it's on their side.
I've been
of it.
writing all day long too,
They
that's
let the
from,
curb stop off.
I'll take a copy of that
Stop.
one. Sure. Put it in your file.
You got.
So they don't have water.
Right. Well,
Did
they
they-
had water, but then the rising pipe filled up with water and then it froze.
Oh,
So look at this.
I don't think that's gonna get any better this week.
Did they say why they couldn't come this week?
No, I get it, I never.
You don't wonder, because it's supposed to get below zero.
It's supposed to get really cold,
Next
that's
week.
why I said they should've came this week, but they probably have prior commitments.
I know they were digging in a line. They never said where they were at.
Can you speak on
That's
that?
gonna set the permafrost for the date this week.
They were digging in a water line somewhere and they had a couple of wells they had to dig up and fix some wells.
So of course I got the wrong one.
Looking at the other center or-
That's why
Maybe you guys could call them and talk to them one more time. Would be a whole lot easier, it's about zero rather than below.
Just got 2 days to do it now.
Thursday it's supposed to drop.
I know,
Thank you.
Here.
they called it the
I know
low
about
case.
it.
There's a bunch of extra copies
You
of
might want to have a
Okay,
little
I'll put all
urgency
that in.
on that.
Thank you.
that. Thank you.
See where he's at, just to,
Yeah,
just see where he's
I'll
at.
call him and
Thanks again, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
see where he's at on that. And the other thing I got is they are shutting down the landfill in Wishick. Completely shutting it down.
So what does that mean?
So that means we gotta find somewhere else for our garbage. I called Jamestown, they will take us, but it's gonna, Jamestown is $78.50 a ton, and we're paying $51 a ton in Wishick.
78.50, and how much are you paying over that?
51.
51 over in Wishick.
And how much you usually take a week?
Depending on the week, I guess mainly. I mean, summertime it's more, wintertime.
It's still
A
cheap.
big load is a 3-ton load,
Okay, well, so it's still cheaper than having this outsourced.
and it's a minimum of what do they
3.5.
charge, 3.5?
In Jamestown?
No, in
Oh,
Wishick.
Okay, so it's, all right.
And I know that in Jamestown, they're more fussy on what we can take, or what they will take,
Yeah.
you know, versus Wishick, we just, you know, as far as 2x4s and mattresses and TVs,
Couches.
you know, we just throw them in the truck and we just
Well-
bury them.
What is it, 78.50?
$78.50 in Jamestown, yeah.
Did he say why they're closing it when they just dug a new pit?
Said it's
last
not
night?
paying.
I called that, I got a number here, Sherry gave me the number, I called this Peggy lady today, Tom was sitting there, put her on speakerphone, and she could not give me a straight answer for nothing.
No, she had not, she didn't wanna discuss it. She goes, I've been getting phone calls all morning and, you know, I don't know what to tell you. She
Well, it's
said.
pretty important that we understand why they are
Well,
shutting it down.
she said more or less, they're not
Making money,
making money on it because there's not enough garbage coming in.
that they try to
So this
cut
is waste
people's
management,
hours.
This
Yes,
is waste management.
So are they actually closing it, or are they closing it through the cities?
closing it.
They are shutting it down. I talked to Jerry down there and he didn't know until this past Friday that he was not gonna have a job come March 1st.
And we just got the phone call when I came in here this morning, it was on there, so.
Napoleon didn't know either today, and I talked to Todd, he had no idea.
And
Oh,
I-
see, and I happened to come in here and check the answering machine.
And I called, when I talked
Sunday.
to Sean in Jamestown, he's the head waste guy there, and
So you're talking.
he said he's got a lot of calls from Napoleon and Wishick, you know, they run 2 trucks. Us,
Litton goes out there.
And they're closing it March 1st?
well, our
Yeah.
last dump will be in
February
24th of this month,
25th. of this month.
25th, and they're closing on the 27th.
Yeah. I
Say-
asked her why they were closing it down,
And she didn't ask,
and,
the phone went dead.
yeah,
For 3 tons, it's only $78 more to go to Jamestown, and I think it's closer anyway, isn't it, Jamestown?
About the same.
Well,
And I don't know if there's
But
any other fees
less-
with that
less
either,
to go
or
to
there's
Jamestown.
like environmental fees and.
And they might, you know, they might be a little more, you know, separate garbage content.
Well, if
They
that's the
don't
case,
want,
obviously we gotta
you
do
know, all
something.
kinds of plastic and bottles and glass or who knows.
And they are, I told them to send out a
Right.
contract and a pamphlet thing from Jamestown, so they're gonna mail it here, so.
That doesn't give us much time, that's crazy.
Didn't give anybody much time.
So,
I
Our
asked,
other
I asked
options-
her why she didn't tell anybody, or why they didn't tell anybody until this early. She said, well, we're not gonna go around and advertise on what
What we're
plants we're
doing.
gonna shut down.
I just think there's some other agenda behind this. Waste management's trying to get a hold on every small town to.
That's, there you
That's
go.
exactly what we were thinking too.
And for us to switch over now to have a truck come in, we've got all the money invested in our truck.
What are they, I mean, I have no idea, what are they, a bunch more than?
Oh, yeah.
You're
If
gonna
you went
probably
with
pay per
them,
resident
you
37
have,
bucks.
every house has to rent those
Mhm.
those cans from them, because that's the only ones they can use to dump. And they're high buck.
Well, I figure for $78 though, I think we're okay for a little while. I mean, until we can figure out.
Well, like Bill said, is it gonna be more depending on what, you know, what we're bringing in there, or?
What's our other option?
Are they gonna deny us if we take something into this?
Because either way, they're gonna have to sort it if we go to waste management or have somebody come in, and they're gonna be going to the same place, they're gonna be having to sort everything anyway.
Because Jamestown's privately owned, right?
Yep,
That's city owned.
yep, city owns the Jamestown.
I don't know, I've been saying for years with somebody, when we pull up in front of somebody's houses, it's like, how can we justify picking that pile of shit up
Oh, I
for
agree.
$10? It's
I agree.
ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, couches and, you know, love seats and mattresses and box springs and 23 bags of garbage, you know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what your guys' feelings are. I mean,
I guess if we can just entertain other ideas at this point, I mean, we're gonna pursue Jamestown, I would think is the best option. But just see what everything else costs, I guess we should at least pursue it and
okay.
get an idea.
For now, it's the only option.
There's nothing else even.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Wait, how
it.
does Steel do theirs? They're the ones that picks it up at the lake. Do they
I'm
have
pretty
their?
sure that's waste management there too, isn't it?
Waste
No,
management,
they
it comes
still
down
has
to double
the
J,
little-
I think is waste management, isn't it?
That's
I mean,
Dakota.
There's a lot of people.
That's Dakota Sanitation, and
Well, that
Dakota
waste man-
oh, is it?
sanitation.
I think that's Dakota Sanitation.
Oh,
I thought waste management bought them.
I don't know. But they come around, they come down quite a ways.
See, we do a
You
private
sure
deal.
it's not Gaynard?
No,
No.
I just know that it's contracted out, I just see that dump truck going in and out of there, that fancy dancing. I don't know.
I know Streeter has their, they have a truck come in and get theirs, don't they?
Yeah,
That's, I think,
waste
that's
management, I think.
Gaynard, isn't it, that does theirs?
That's all waste management that
Gaynard
comes
has
in.
one?
Yeah, I think that's waste management.
In Streeter?
Yeah.
They dump it in Wishick.
No, I think that's waste management.
Streeter's waste
Yeah, Streeter.
management.
Oh, is it?
There's no more Dakota sanitation, they bought them.
Well, they did, so that's what they're trying to do. then.
All right,
So we'll just
Monopoly.
go Jamestown then.
anything else?
Yeah, I would wait to see what they say or what kind of contract, what it says in there.
Yep.
Not that it's 78 and then we're getting
Right.
bombarded with side fees and.
Right.
Right.
Stuff, yeah,
Okay.
so. I don't know, I think that's all I got.
Okay. Anything else, guys? I guess keep us informed because it's gonna be closed before our next meeting, so if we need to get together and sign something or whatever. Okay, appreciate it. Move on to auditor.
Okay, most of mine I've got written down here in the new business. If you look, I put in here the city of Gackle zoning permit. All right, we used to have them made by a different company, and I talked to the lady over in Napoleon. They make up all of their own. This is what theirs looks like. So I kinda went over a lot of this, did the same things, and it does look like, I mean, you can tell by the wording if you read it, that an attorney has made up this. Okay, so it covers us. But the lady, Trish Lanes, told me exactly what she needed, and she didn't need all that extra mumbo jumbo stuff, you know, that we had with our last one. And we wouldn't have to call and, pay for those booklets to be done, because now I can just print them off on the computer. So one thing I need you to look at in there, I didn't know,
Could I see the plans?
on the second page, it says sheds or other outbuildings must be placed on a concrete slab or footing. Do we have a ordinance for that? Does anybody know? So we can take that one out of there. We do have a sidewalk ordinance. Do we have trees and bushes and shrubs and fence ordinance? Anybody know?
Fence, I know we do.
Fence for.
So I can leave that one in and just take out the sheds. The rest of it, does it look good with you guys? Because I got people waiting for permits if we're gonna start using these.
Well, the only where it says must, oh, wait, I'm reading the wrong one.
Yeah, don't, I took a lot off of that they had.
Why do we have to change that now?
Because we ran out of them, so we'd have to order new books. And what was on them books, there was a lot of nonsense you didn't need. So,
Well, the sheds or other outbuildings must be placed on a concrete slab, footing, or foundation. You know, these garden sheds aren't on a foundation.
Railroad there, it's one of them.
Yeah, they got their own floor and it just sets down on the ground. I think
just take that one off.
it should
I would
just be, take out the sentence of must be placed on a
I'm
concrete
concerned about,
slab.
fences, especially on corner lots, approaches and stuff like that.
Well, it says right there, must be placed 20 feet from the city right of the way.
Okay.
That is in there.
Okay.
So you're saying just get rid of that last part there, obviously sheds or other outbuildings are on there
Yeah.
for permits, but not the, okay?
And then another question I have, and I don't know of any other towns, you know, like when we put in a new electrical service in a house, tear out a 60 amp, put in a upgrade to 100 or 200, you know, there's nothing that requires a permit on that.
But it says anything you do on the inside of inside that's worth more than $2,000 for renovations. If you look on our city ordinance, more than $2,000 remodeling on the inside of a building. So wouldn't that be considered that?
You know, I don't know, is it remodeling?
That's pretty gray.
You know, most people wouldn't consider it remodeling.
To add electricity?
Upgrade. And
Upgrade electricity, that would be
Well, not
remodeling.
really, you're putting a service panel in. I don't know.
I mean, I questioned that before, if they, even like the plumbing, you know, a lot of the old houses have the cast lines that collapse. They end up putting in new lines.
I think we just err to the, if maybe we should just do it, I don't know.
You're saying you want something in there for electrical and plumbing? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, that's what I don't know. I don't know if
Like a certified plumber or electrician needs to sign off on it? Is that, or you're
Yeah.
just saying in general permit?
just in general, even if people do their own,
At $2,000 minimum or maximum? Or minimum, man?
minimum.
Minimum. See, if you get the permit,
That's pretty good sized project.
I guess one of the problems I see is this what happened here next door. The guy put it in a 200 amp service, but he's got a 60 amp meter socket. The grounding was a total disaster. And they were blowing out the computers left and right. Insurance company sending in, well,
Okay.
changing that panel alone is not the answer. He had small wire feeding a 200 amp panel. He actually created more of a hazard than he avoided.
Okay.
You know, and if you want to sell, when he sold that house, well, when Henry Markham bought it, he was told it's got a new panel. Well, yes, it had a new panel, but it was a total disaster.
Okay.
And it's probably that way today, I don't know.
so am I adding anything to this permit? Is that what you're trying to?
You know, I think it should include upgrading electrical and plumbing.
Upgrading electrical and plumbing? Okay.
It should
I guess that gives
include-
us a foot in the door to,
Yeah.
need to have an
To
inspector.
let some of these fly-by-nighters or the home, people who do it themselves. Be careful, what they do with these.
Because right there on your
Or
bottom,
the
if you,
same way with heating.
With what?
You know, you're putting in a new furnace, you're not gonna put in a furnace under $1,000, no way. I had electric, plumbing, and heating.
Electric, plumbing, and heating.
I don't have problems with one.
Because if you'll see on the bottom, it tells you that even by just signing this and paying for this permit, that does not take precedent over what you need for state, you know, for
Right.
contractors to have.
So we wanna add in that way, if they come at us with, like you said, a whole panel,
Right.
gives us a foot in the door to send someone in to inspect it before
Yeah.
completion.
Do-it-yourselfers won't do a certificate, so nobody knows.
Right.
But when they sell it, they convince the buyer, look at this new panel. Well, yeah, it's new, but everything behind it is a disaster.
Mhm.
So what exactly do you want me to put? Upgrading electrical, plumbing, and heating needs a permit?
Yes,
Okay,
That's what I would say.
okay.
and I almost think that trees and shrubs and bushes should stay in there myself, cause there's lots of people in town dealing with other people's trees over top of their houses.
Yeah,
And I'm one of them, so that's a,
well, that one I was
I mean,
keeping
it
in
is,
there.
it's,
The only thing I was taking out was the sheds or the other buildings.
I see it all over town.
And that's the thing, they'll plant these large trees on the boulevard, and pretty soon they're hanging on the street. And
Yeah,
they
there's a
won't
few
take
intersections
responsibility
that
for
there's some
it.
issues with that.
I went and cut all the ones on my street off across the street because nobody would.
Yeah, I guess just, I would keep that in then,
Okay.
and then add what Lauren was saying, and then,
And I'd say take out that concrete slab footing foundation.
I did.
Sheds or outbuildings.
okay.
Okay, I took that out. That's why I left it in to, for you guys to discuss what, you know, because those were the only ones that I saw.
And you still have, and that's probably in the ordinance, about the towers need to have,
It's in here as well. If you look, it says at the bottom of the first
No
page,
tower should
work
be-
must be
okay.
completed
I
in
thought it
1
was
year. No towers shall be constructed within city limits without city approval.
okay,
I kinda took our ordinance in the city of Napoleon to make this. And I really liked all the wording because it sounded like an attorney did make up theirs. So we're pretty much
so on the
covered.
zoning permit application, do we need to treat it as a,
It's just a permit.
what I'm saying, as a new, like an ordinance, where you have to have multiple readings and post it in the paper?
I don't think so, because when I talked
I
to
was
her,
reading something about that earlier, and I'll have to keep reading on that, I didn't know where. So we can make a motion to accept this new zoning permit application,
I move
as,
to
with the new additions and corrections on it, I should mention, okay? So Lauren, a second,
I'll second.
all those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. I will have to check into that, make sure we don't have to have 2 readings, and then post it in the paper.
I guess when I talked to her, she didn't tell me anything about that. She just sent me this.
I've been reading a lot on this other business that I wanna cover, but I thought zoning permits were on there. Maybe not the application.
See you
Thanks
guys.
for coming, Tom.
See you, sir.
Bye.
All right, do you have anything else?
Yep, all right, Bill, I need to, Bill's insurance increased that the city pays for. It was $408.25 and it's up to $410.90. Can I increase his payment on his pay for that?
Need a motion for $1.60 increase for Bill? I don't know.
I don't think so, do you?
Just pay it. Okay.
Okay.
And, let's see, I need a motion for a new permit for Levi Guthmiller down here that bought this house that belonged to Terry Griffin. He's doing about over $2,000 worth of work from the inside.
What's he doing?
I know he's been putting up, redoing all his walls and stuff like that.
You just need a permit?
He just needs to, well, because on here it says in our,
Can we better hold off until we get our new.
wait till we get our permits.
We better make sure we do that,
I would,
right?
yeah.
Okay, because it says on there, anytime you do anything over $2,000, you need a $10 permit.
Well,
Well,
that
he
that
said,
was already in the old permit, so I think we can.
well, that's in an ordinance.
Huh?
That's in a city ordinance.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Yeah.
scares me there is if he's gonna be doing what we're trying to avoid here, is he gonna do any electrical, plumbing, heating?
Well, maybe one of you men can go over and talk to him, because he said he's gonna be over.
Is he around? I thought he was
Hit or miss, that I can get
in
hold of.
Jamestown Correctional Center, so
Oh,
maybe I read that wrong.
Alright.
okay, because he told me when I stopped I couldn't get, he didn't have a mailbox, so I had to kind of take a picture of his city bill and text it to
What do you
him.
think on that, Lauren? Wait,
I
or-
think we should be able to approve it based on the one that's in place
Okay.
already.
But he said he was
Yeah,
gonna go
just
over
to take them
$2,000.
Right, no, you don't have one that's gonna take him. So
Okay,
I approve of it.
We need a motion for that?
yep,
I'll make a motion to approve that he buys.
Okay, a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Okay, motion carries.
okay. And then this one, next one here, in your yellow envelope, I thing I made you, it wouldn't be something to go through tonight, I did email you these, but, I was calling up today to find out, I don't know anything past this point how ordinances go for the chickens. So I went and did a lot of homework and went through other towns and what they do. A lot of information in here and a lot of good stuff we would not have thought about having on our thing. One thing I will say is League of Cities said that they are doing permits. Every other city is doing a permit, they're adding it that you have to have a permit. Because if, so, let's say we get somebody that's not following the rules on that permit, if it was an ordinance, it would take us a lot to get through it. Permits you can void and null if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Permits are renewed every year, so somebody can go in, so you can go in and check it out, make sure they're following. On here you'll read where you're putting the chicken manure, there's a lot of stuff we never even thought about with those chickens. And I gave you a lot of different ones.
These are the ones that you sent on the email as
Yes.
well, so I read all those.
Okay, so I gave you those copies, so maybe I don't know how you're
So
gonna
just
receive
which
it.
one that more
I-
applicable? I do like the,
I like a little bit from each of them,
well,
Can I?
but it's up to you.
I've been looking through a lot of stuff, and I gotta admit, I know more about chickens than I ever cared to know about, but. And I appreciate the homework, because that's what all this started, but my concern is the actual petition. How it's written, and I've talked to an attorney, and it's so vague, and there's no definitions in this, what people signed. Poultry, fowl, and non-traditional, and then down here it says the allowing of poultry and other non-traditional animals under 80 pounds to be allowed in the city limits. That's pretty much opening up a door to say that anyone can have a goddamn petting zoo.
raccoons and.
Anything under 80
Skunks.
pounds without a permit. Anything over 80 pounds should be allowed by permit within city limits. So this is so vague, and so, we're not stopping with chickens here, guys. We almost have to get more information on this than I have gotten so far. I agree with you 100% on the chicken thing, we're all in agreement on the chickens and no roosters, but this is so vague and so, half these people I can guarantee don't know what they signed here, and that's what scares me on this. We're going down one avenue, but they're asking for,
They're asking. for
what's
more-
non-traditional?
They're asking more than chickens, is what you're saying?
Yeah, what's a non-traditional animal?
Yeah.
And I bet you all four of us will have a
When I read
different.
that totally confuses me. What's,
Guinea pigs. or
There should
potbelly
be,
pig.
there has to be definitions of every one of these things here in this that people sign so they know.
the other thing that I question with this petition, my understanding has been in the past, when you circulate a petition, at the bottom of this first sheet, the carrier has to sign and date it, and the purpose of that petition's gotta be on every sheet. So actually, probably a third of this sheet would've got eaten up by the signature, the carrier's signature, and the purpose.
See, in this, what they're actually signing is a petition to review and amend current city codes regarding livestock. I don't
Well,
wanna
if you
get
see-
into a
If you see the one.
tic-tac,
Yeah.
knitting.
If you look at the one there, this one
And we
that
were
I have.
approached as far as chickens, not livestock and.
Well, see, here you go, permit for backyard chicken.
Yeah, this is, I like the idea of this just being chickens. I
Right,
see what you're saying on that and
Well,
what
what
they're
he wrote.
saying, but I don't think we have to approve
That's what I'm trying to find right
No,
now,
let-
guys.
the whole thing. We can say chickens and chickens only.
and this is what I was trying to find out today, do you need an attorney? This one here, they took and they did the, amended the ordinances with
Right.
adding this in. So I mean, I got all this part as a homework, but from here, I don't know which way you go.
But see, on there, see what I'm saying, definitions, every word that, down to a chicken,
Right.
so at least we
But
know.
this, I didn't realize that they were, I mean, I didn't even see this 80 pounds thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's what I've been trying to figure out here is,
I mean, are they wanting more than chickens? Are they wanting swine?
I thought it was just chickens, but
If
then-
it's swine or if it's chickens, I'm okay with it. But I don't want
and see this letter,
pigs and.
like you said, it's not, you take this away, they're signing
They're signing the
petition to amend current city codes regarding livestock, that's it.
The
Yeah,
livestock. Okay.
That's what they're signing right here, that's what scares me, and I've, like I said, I've shown it, and I don't wanna
Maybe
get
we
down to
should ask
brass
them
tacks.
to do it correct.
Well, that's why I got you all those things, so that we could figure out how to.
I
do
gotta
it
figure
right.
out, just because this is signed doesn't mean we change, throw
Oh.
everything in there and change everything, that, I mean,
Understand.
But then
and
just,
that's what I need the answers to, and I haven't gotten yet, guys, is what our next step to
well, just
this.
keep your yellow
Hey, what
folders
does
up.
Hammer say? This is not valid?
Exactly, but I mean, like, I don't wanna go there again, but it's exactly what it is.
oh, Hammer said that?
That's not who I talked to, no.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's
It was an attorney, it wasn't Paul Hammer's the judge, then.
I questioned the petition.
And I'd like, I guess I can contact David,
I was gonna say, maybe we
And
need
ask him
to
if-
ask.
I mean, if we go ahead with the chickens,
Right,
which we're okay with,
right.
up to a certain point, and then
Right.
there's gonna be some standards.
There's gonna be some limitations.
'Cause I don't feel like
Permits, I
getting
the
into
permit.
I do too, I
I
like
like
the,
the
I
permit.
like
If
a
they
lot of
don't
the
like
stuff.
it, we can say, next
Well,
year you're done.
Vegas
with your
City
permit,
said
you can't
no
do-
one is doing it without a permit, everybody's doing permits.
Okay,
Because it leaves you to easily get out of that permit if they're not following the rules. Okay, right now, what we're seeing, they're clean as a whistle and they're doing it by the, good. But what if we get somebody over here that's,
well,
you
give them
can't
kudos
even
for it,
have,
we
you
just
can't
need
even
to
have
do it right
manure and
here
stuff sitting
tonight.
around where you're gonna get rodents. Who wants rats? So there's a lot of stipulations in those things of how you can get rid of your manure. No chicken, no killing
You
of
know what
chickens on your property, I mean, it's
I read
very.
that.
Talking
There was a
about
lot of
manure,
things I
it
didn't
says
think about.
chicken
Me
manure
too.
may be placed in yard compost piles. So basically, he can take it out of the coop, out of the run, throw it on a pile.
That's just one of them. That, not all of them say that. Other ones tell you
The
you
other
have
one
to.
says, where'd I have that one?
You
I
have
think
to
we're all in
have.
agreement, so that we will amend the chicken.
I mean, if.
The
if
ordinance
he's-
All it says
chickens,
on the other
basically.
one is coops, runs, and manure storage shall be kept 20 feet from streams, tributaries, ditches, stormwater.
Backside,
It doesn't say a word about throwing it out, outside the fence on your own property. 20 feet from the streams.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, we're gonna
I
have
didn't
manure
think about that
piles in
far.
town.
Yeah, I would certainly think that,
And that
It's-
creek runs right through there too, so.
Yeah, it's very vague.
right.
Well, this one
It's
says,
pretty good.
except for chickens
Wash down that.
properly slaughtered or consumption, dead chickens must be disposed of within 24 hours after death. Legal forms of chicken carcasses disposal include burial or off-site rendering. All slaughtering of chickens shall be conducted so as not to be visible to the public or adjacent property owners. I mean, we just have to look, there are different ways to write this. That's why I went through and got you 4 different ones,
Yeah,
4
you're
different
reading number
towns.
12, right?
Huh?
You're reading number 13.
Yeah.
Go back to number 12 in that same ordinance.
So I said, I learned more about chickens in the last couple of weeks than,
Me too.
as far as,
Oh, okay, your manure storage, but there's another one that for manure storage on one of these other ones.
I just think we just need to table this for now and get some more information on what to do with this.
Right.
And what we have to do, if this is legally, I mean, we can send it to Isaac and spend the money, I guess. What I was told it was. But I don't wanna do that to him either. He did the work and he's.
Oh, I agree.
There's a lot of
I mean,
people in
there's
favor
something
of
I wanna,
chickens and I'm
that I
fine
wanna
with
help
that.
him with,
I think we're all fine with the chicken thing. It's just all of a sudden you get 79-pound animals running all over the goddamn streets. I don't know about that. And I don't think that most people did either that would sign this, but. So we'll just table this then. I mean, what he's got over there is phenomenal, I've heard, so I give him kudos for that.
Well, that's why I made you all these, so you can keep it handy so that when it's time.
I'd like to talk to him about that, you know, what was the purpose of the livestock and the 8-pound critter, what, you know, if you had bigger things in mind, or what?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, did he write this?
And he made, and I get it, it's not gonna be perfect, and that's why I don't wanna take it away from him what he did here, cause he's got a lot of people that signatures around here, they're all for it, so that's.
And he's got a very nice and clean area up there. I've seen it up there. It's very clean.
Right.
So I guess if you guys wanna table this, or if we want to
I say you table.
send this to
Until we
Isaac
find
so we
out
know.
more about,
I move we table the
and then
issue.
talk,
Okay.
you know, one of us
Lauren.
talk to him, or all of us, or whatever, you know.
I'll send this to our city attorney, or I guess if you
Do we
would,
have to second it?
What are you sending?
Or he's saying?
this
I
petition and
move
that
we
sheet.
table the issue of the chicken. Allowing chickens.
Will he ask you what we as a town want, and we haven't figured that out yet?
We need to figure out if this is binding, and
Legal and binding.
and even with these signatures, what we have to do next.
We might have to have him draw something else up,
Okay.
and then he might have to go get these signatures again, I don't know. Because what's on that, I don't like. If he wants to do the chickens and the laying hens and all that, I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with the livestock part of it.
And a lot of the people said they
Or
were.
I'll do the poultry, but not the livestock. Or
Okay.
the 80-pound chicken.
Well, I know a lot of people though said they didn't, signing that, they weren't told anything about a rooster.
I don't wanna be scared
That's
of an
what
80-pound chicken.
That's what scares me, is people that sign
That's a
this,
big.
just stop chickens.
Yeah. Well, I know somebody had called Massac, they
But if
said
that-
somebody told them it was for roosters, and then they wanted to be taken off the list.
If-
Yeah.
If the guy I talked to is wrong and that is legally binding, and the next step is we have to change our ordinance over,
Yeah.
I wanna make sure, not that we do it wrong here. and
Now, that
face
was one thing I was
consequences down the road.
calling her for today.
Is this
Can we
this is
add
getting
in,
a new ordinance and it has to be,
well, can we add in an amendment to the ordinance, or do we
Well,
have
that's
to?
what they're
We need
asking
an
for.
amendment, I
Yeah,
think,
that's what they're asking for.
to the current ordinance, the way it's written.
And we don't have to do readings on that, then, do we?
Mm.
Oh, we
I'm
do,
sure you
the
do.
amendment.
Yeah.
but I would like
That's
to,
why I think
I would like to
we're
implement
We're
the,
amending the original.
That's what and I'll read that, cause I can get right back on that for
Alright.
the cities, where it was saying about zoning permits.
Okay. Alright, and then that's it for me.
financials?
Well, I know there's one on the new business for Drew. The liquor license one.
We'll get through, cause that should be on new business, right?
Right, it's under new business,
So let's get through,
because all mine was under new business.
you said you're
okay.
good?
I'm
You got-
good.
Okay. Taylor's not here.
He didn't have anything.
What's with the water, the postal service?
Well, if it's not paid here this time, that gives him 3 months behind, I'm gonna have to shut it off. I don't know, but I'm sure Katie probably, when I sent that to her, let her know that I'm gonna have to do a shut off notice there very soon.
Where does the payment come from?
US Postal Service. So I don't
Is
know.
Katie able to write a check, or how does that work?
I don't know how that works. If she turns in the water bill to them, I know nothing how that works. All I know is it hasn't been paid since November 6th.
So that's technically beyond shut off then?
Yeah, I should have probably, well, yeah, we probably should have started it off right before Christmas. But that 343.41 is what they owe as of the 10th of February. See, when you see up the top over here,
We should follow our procedure and no graces.
Yeah, but it's middle of winter, do we let them have time to blow their lines? Nothing?
Shut them off. We're shutting the water off, not the heat.
Oh, true, true.
I mean, that's how we get in trouble every damn time. We let it slide and they push the issue.
Okay.
So all three of these here on the
Um,
10th should be shut off, is what you're saying?
Just Katie's in the post office. And I probably should have did both already. Anybody else on the list as is just a 1 month? Then it just got a second bill for 2 months.
I guess, that's up to you guys.
Can you contact her again, and you just tell her that this,
I will.
we don't wanna do it?
I know.
Okay.
Do you need to contact Storbex also?
Storbex, the last time we talked, they always stay a month behind. And then they add another $25 late fee, and you guys said if they wanna pay it, let them pay it, so they did just make a payment of $150. They keep making a $150 payment, but it doesn't bring them up current, so then when I go to do the bill next time, I gotta give them $25 late charge. So technically, all this behind stuff they have is late charges, but they don't catch it up.
So they're not months behind them?
No,
They're
no,
just a,
no, they're not months behind.
okay.
I just see the
They-
same names on here all the time, is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
And Hank's is just, he's been good with his, this is the first time he's been on the list in a long time.
I guess get
Yeah.
a hold of her about those two and let them know, I mean, we're close to a shut off and we should have already,
Okay,
we don't want to obviously, so.
Yeah, especially with this weather coming
yeah,
on, dude.
okay, I will.
Any more questions on that, guys, on the water?
No.
Okay. Move to Jeff High
I-
on streets lighting.
I got a couple lights, that I need to call Steve on. I drove around the other day, I believe is it Third Avenue and Birch? That one on the corner by Tom, is that Third? The
Yeah.
one, Third and Birch is out, and then I don't know the address to that alley by Ryan's that's just overlooking, what's the main road by the care center? What's that one?
That's,
That's perfect, what are you talking?
a cedar.
You're right here? Cause Ryan's is right there, right?
Okay, there's one right there.
It goes in and out all the time?
Well, it's actually, instead of shining out on the street, it's shining into the alley. It's kind of weird. I don't even know if it's really, it's like right over the garage but it's facing north. It's the only one facing north on Cedar. It's kind of a weird thing. But, I'll call Steve tomorrow.
And then mention, I don't know if Beth, there's one in the Lutheran Church parking lot.
Oh.
That's owned by Otter Tail Power.
That's
That
Steve.
big flood
Oh, at the Lutheran church.
parking lot. He'll know which one it is, but the other one I just fixed, the one on the south side of the
Okay.
church. That's privately owned.
I will, I'll just, well, he's really good, I just sent him a text what I need, and he's done, and he's right on it, so.
He's a good guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy, so I'll get that done.
Yeah, that's good.
Nope, everything else is good.
Larry?
Nothing.
Airport's pretty quiet these days, huh?
Yes.
The winter. Lauren?
Beth just called me today, Beth, Riser. She's thinking of not flooding the swimming pool, or the skating rink, I should say.
Yeah, she called me today too.
Did she? That was
She's
probably
concerned
just-
about weeds and what have you in there.
Just for this year, find the lake, I don't know what that one on the south side of Ardell. would
Okay,
be like.
she called me after that, and she said there's too much of a liability issue.
Well, that one on the south side of Ardell is spring fed, I mean, there could be some,
Right.
that's not a good.
Source of
She did
freezing.
mention to see if we can fill that ice skating rink,
Okay,
but I told her I'll just have to see. I mean, if it's only gonna be a month worth of ice skating, I don't know
Might
if it's
wanna
gonna
just
be
let her
worth
look
it.
till
It takes
it-
a lot of water to fill that thing.
Sounds like she's got big plans for that next year, an improvement and what have you.
So,
Yeah, you
I'll
got-
just keep in touch with her and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, it's kind of
So I gotta
February.
figure something out
February.
for filling it, cause.
How do you do that with the water that goes in there?
You're running out of the hydrant.
Yeah. But last year we got, this year we gotta
You got
figure
that
something
hydrant
out.
compromised last year,
Yeah,
didn't
I know it did.
But it was also 10 below when you did that.
Yeah.
That probably had a lot to do with it.
But last year we had such problem with the ground
Right.
washing out. So, we gotta figure something else out there. Either,
Can you run it wide open or how is
well,
it?
you have to.
You have to run it wide open.
And that can erode a lot of dirt in a hurry, even if it is.
Even
frozen.
wide open.
Well, yeah.
So it's not good to fill it like that, is what you're saying, out of the hydrant.
Right, the only thing is that I thought maybe put a tarp down and somehow tie it to the end of the hose. and- I don't know.
Call me, I wanna see this.
Right? And hopefully I get the tarp out before it freezes.
That would be entertaining. Alright, now
Put
we
an
might,
irrigation sprinkler up,
yeah,
create
we
rain.
might have a little bit of an issue there. I don't know if that's gonna be worth doing.
Well, that's my thoughts too, I guess, so.
Well, I'll leave it up to you guys, I guess. Anything else, Lauren?
Nope.
Okay, old business, Lauren Streets, I don't know what that was
Lauren had some questions for the streets.
about. Oh,
That's old
You know, you
business.
probably already got it.
That was last month.
Right.
very specific. Okay, new business, bill insurance increase.
We got
Oh,
that.
we got that one, okay.
We
New
got-
permit.
We got Levi's.
Liquor license, look over new, oh, was that for,
For the pandemic.
The chicken.
okay, and that's the one we agreed to not charge them? Is that what we said?
Well, it's up to
Already.
you guys. Valley City
There's a
did for
bunch
the
of cities and towns.
pandemic, they didn't charge any of their restaurants and bars, and then there's a couple other cities following suit for their permits for the city, not the state,
Oh,
because, and the bars and restaurants.
Just to kinda help them out, I guess, is what.
What is your,
What is it for there? It's $2.50 for there, and then it's 10 for down here.
I move we forgive it for this
I do
year.
too. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
You know, I always have had a little problem with, why are we penalizing the bars with requiring a permit when we don't require a permit from the bank, we don't require a permit from the grocery store? Why in the hell do we
I don't
penalize the bar owners?
Well, they do have to have a state license.
Yeah.
Liquor license. It's-
But that's so they can
You
regulate the
have to also have
alcohol,
that,
but you
a
know,
town
locally
license to
here.
run it.
don't we have to keep them, and we have so many or else we lose them? Isn't that why we do that? Like,
I've heard of
we
that.
have so many for our city, and we don't wanna lose them, but I agree with this charging 250 for one and 10 for another, and I get the other one's not open, but I don't think we need to charge them outrageous anymore, but,
I think that we need to look at that.
so we'll forgive it this year and then look at next year and see.
Look
I
it
agree
look
on
it
this.
over next year.
Cause I think the city of Gackle has what, 3 of them, for sure? Cause it would've been the bowling alley.
Well, I know they used to charge them 5, and that was because the old days they were so busy. And then, remember Lauren, they got together and he wanted to know how come this one's only $10 down here and the bar was $500. So we did take it down $250 last summer.
Oh, okay.
But this is just because of the pandemic, most of your other places are doing that because the restaurants and the bars got hit so hard.
Okay. Well, motion carries, so we'll go over it again next year then and see where we're at. We looked over the new permit format, that was approved. The chicken stuff was approved,
Let's table for now.
or sorry, tabled, yeah. Approved bills.
Okay, when
guys
you
get a
look
chance
on
to
those
look
bills, you guys, you're gonna see double on a
I
lot
seen
of the
that
bills.
double,
Because,
that not allied, is it?
yeah, that's last month's, that's for
okay.
December and January. I sent the bills out, but you know, it's
Oh.
right at Christmas. So if they
Okay.
don't get them into the bank by the
Okay.
30th first, then it comes on my next month. So if you'll see a lot of them, Otter Tail, Tri-County News, all of them are doubled. Now then you're gonna see the one from Seward, showed 17,000. Well, that was because in January, we have to pay that overage, and that was 14,000 this year. So we pay that one sum every month, $2,900, and then at the end of the year, they calculate how much water we use, and whatever the overage is, that's what we get charged for. Right, Lauren?
Yep.
How come we don't up our, well, I guess it doesn't matter.
Alright.
So that's an every year thing. This year it looks a little higher, no, it was 14,000, last year was about that.
So we don't wanna up our monthly to get that end payment down, or is that what you're saying?
I think let's see what we do with the or street.
Okay.
What's the lab? Is
And
that
we'll
for
just
water
put it into,
testing? $600?
For the year?
For the
Gotcha.
year.
Not designated.
Yep, okay, gotcha.
I wouldn't think that'd be a problem.
Okay, so, anyone see any problems?
Yeah, designating for a specific purpose is a.
Now, if you do look on our deposits, you
Oh,
guys,
sure.
Saw that.
we got the last granting for the policing for $902.
In the library.
Oh, the library gives us that every couple months. That's to reimburse us for, paying for Lindy's pay for the 3 months, for the quarter. So they give us that every quarter. Lenhart's Insurance gave us $189 for taking those pieces of equipment off. They reimbursed us $189.
Did you get those folders back to,
I have them and I go in tomorrow. So,
and that's to see if that last deal comes off of there, or? Okay,
Alright, that's good.
and let's try to look at anywhere else if there's anything. Nope.
you guys, any corrections or questions on that? If not, we'll need a motion to approve those.
Move to approve.
Lauren, second. Larry, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Date and time of next meeting, and I did check with Tom, from Moore Engineer to make sure that that was still enough time to get those bids done and ready before our next meeting, because they don't go out to the 25th, and he said, yeah, that should be,
Should be there.
so we don't have to move that to the second Monday.
March 1st?
March 1st will work if that's, you guys, okay, so it's 7 PM. Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded?
Larry, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, we'll see you guys next.
At 8:14.